The Sound of Music came to theaters in 1965, based on the musical of the same name. It was shot in Salzburg with English actors and directed by Robert Wise. Rocky was written by Sylvester Stallone, directed by John G. Avildsen, shot in Philadelphia, and opened in theaters in 1976. In this essay, I will discuss how both movies feature award-winning cinematography and memorable character development. Both movies start with our main characters in their element. Maria, the main character of The Sound of Music, is shown dancing and singing in the hills of Salzburg. Maria is shown to be passionate about the world she lives in, even as she weaves through obstacles. It's clear in these shots that she loves the hills. The end of the sequence shows Maria to be a bit childish as well, as she forgets her veil, and irresponsible she hears the bells toll.
Oh.
Rocky opens similarly, with the titular character, Rocky, in the boxing ring. In contrast to Maria, he is seemingly unhappy in his place in life. He's losing the fight, the audience is booing him, and he repeatedly gets called a bum. Both Maria and Rocky have their own mentor figures, Reverend Mother and Mickey respectively. Both characters act as driving forces for Maria and Rocky. Reverend Mother sends Maria to the Von Trapp family to discover herself in the first place.
It seems to be the will of God that you leave us.
Leave?
Only for a while, Maria.
Oh, no, Mother, please don't do that. Don't send me away. This is where I belong. It's my home, my family. It's my life.
And are you truly ready for
Yes,
it?
I am.
And Mickey pushes Rocky to become a better fighter.
Got hard, but you're fighting a goddamn ape.
When Maria first arrives at the Von Trapp home, she meets the captain. He's abrasive and rude and looks down on her, but she surprises him and is able to hold her own against his cold nature. Throughout the movie, Maria is continuously compared to the Baroness, the woman the captain is courting. Maria is able to let the children have fun while also making sure she can keep them under control. She lets them be people instead of soldiers. The Baroness entirely fails at both, and the captain was the one who made them soldiers in the first place. The Baroness brought
some meaning back into my life,
but she wasn't able to bring love back into his life. She never gave him this. Maria did. This is also towards the midpoint of the movie where we see these shots where Maria and the captain are both slightly out of focus. They both appear soft because they can see each other as they are and as what they mean to each other. The captain gave Maria purpose and a family, things she previously didn't have, and Maria gave him music and love in return, things that he thought he'd never have again. They're both beautiful moments of realization. Rocky, on the other hand, spends a lot of the movie alone. He walks alone, he lives alone, he talks to himself because he has no one else.
Hey, your old man did pretty good tonight. Why weren't you there, huh?
And the few people he does have yell at him and put him down.
So long, meatbag. Got hard, but you're fighting a goddamn ape.
The one person in Rocky's life who doesn't put him down is Adrian. The first part of the movie is all about him pursuing her, trying to get her to talk.
What? Come on in. Yo.
Trying to get her to see him. Adrian is a very shy person, but when alone, she allows her love for Rocky to show, even if it's only for a second. She gazes at him like he's everything to her. Her brother Paulie gets her to go on a date with Rocky, and while they talk, they learn about each other and they connect. Rocky shows her that being shy is okay.
There's big bugs in there, you know. It's safer over here.
But it's safe to open up with him. It's safe to be herself. Throughout the movie, she changes from hiding behind her sweaters and her glasses to wearing clothes that make her stand out. At the end of the movie, she looks like this. Rocky and Adrian's devotion to each other is what allows them to both grow. Adrian gives Rocky love and happiness, and Rocky gives Adrian her voice.
Go in the alley and eat the bird.
Oh. I'll take care of you, Paulie. I don't know you nothing.
The cinematography of Rocky and The Sound of Music both use long takes pretty often. They keep at a distance from the characters for most of the time, only really using close-ups when it's absolutely necessary. Rocky is a bit more conventional in terms of filmmaking, including montages and a few quick cuts with action scenes, but everything else is quite slow. Alvinson really likes to hold on moments, especially when characters are voicing their emotions, like these scenes from both Rocky and Mickey, where they open up and try to stretch out the olive branch. Unlike The Sound of Music, the camera here moves a lot, whether the shot is handheld or on a dolly. The camera shows what each character feels and sees and really focuses on immersion. The Sound of Music usually keeps the camera on one spot and keeps out of the action for the most part. As a callback to its origins as an onstage musical, the audience gets to see everything on camera. But every shot has depth and meaning, and even though the camera hardly moves, there's always something to look at, either with many actions or emotions with the characters, or a very pointed look at the background. When the characters dance together, especially Rolf and Liesel and the captain and Maria, the camera makes sure to stay back and show everything. Each shot makes sure to show the togetherness of the couples. Especially in this movie, there's a sense of camaraderie and a slight sense of nationalism. A consistent theme throughout the film is one about Austria. In fact, the national anthem, Edelweiss, is actually a sort of love theme for Maria and the captain.
Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless thy homeland forever.
After the captain sings it for his children, he looks at Maria and we see that soft sort of filter on the film. He looks at her and realizes that he loves her, and he loves her because he loves his country. The movie subtly, then not so subtly, seeps in Nazi propaganda. At first it's small lines of dialogue.
I suppose you've noticed the obvious display of the Austrian flag in the hallway?
Throwaway scenes that don't really matter. But then it builds to actions, and by the third act there are actual Nazi flags all over. Both Rocky and The Sound of Music are stories about growth. Maria grows from a naive young girl into a mother. Rocky grows from a nobody to a man who can stay standing.
What is keeping him up, Bill? I don't know.
Each movie is a journey, and while both are extremely different in many ways, they both have the heart to move you.